Welcome to MUSC119, Introduction to Music Technology, and welcome to Group. I'm your instructor, Dr. Bob Pritchard. Most people just call me Dr. Bob. And for this course, your teaching assistant is Mark Marinick. I'll let him talk about himself.
Hi, I'm Mark Marinick, and I'm the TA for MUSC119. I'm a current DMA student studying music composition, and the music that I create tends to explore pop and video game soundtrack aesthetics. I make all kinds of stuff in Ableton Live, from digital opera for social media to sci-fi concept albums. I'm excited to work with and meet you all, and I'll see you in tutorial.
Alrighty, Rudy. A few things to be clear about. This is not an audio engineering course. This is not an audio engineering course. So it's not going to make you any of these things that are listed. However, that doesn't mean that you can't go on and do these things. You can get lots of training from other places to do this. But I just want to be clear, this is not an audio engineering course. So if that's what you thought you were looking for, these aren't the classes you're looking for.
These aren't the classes you're looking for.
Now, this course will make you the following. And then after that, after you've gone through all the lectures and done these homework assignments, by the end of the course, you'll be Now, along the way, these are some of the things that you're going to learn. Basic acoustics. We'll do some basic psychoacoustics, which actually are useful in understanding things like codecs. We'll do the digital audio chain and do some basic recording and basic MIDI systems. We're going to cover some issues with music notation software. You're going to do some webcasting, and you're going to learn about digital video and basic recording. And then there's some basic web design you're going to be doing. Doing all of this, you do have access to various pieces of equipment in the course. We learn about how to use the equipment in tutorials, and then once we've done the tutorials, you're able to sign those out. Because you're a member of this course, because you've paid the course fee, you can sign these things out for free. So, by the end of this course, you'll be able to do the following. You're going to do basic multi-track recording and editing. You're going to understand some hearing problems that can compromise your careers and your ears, but you'll also have an understanding of hearing that will help you in terms of doing audio mixing. You're going to understand and work with audio in a variety of formats, and you're going to be able to explain the digital audio chain for almost all commercial equipment. You're going to be doing basic MIDI recording and patch orchestration, so you'll know how to load up virtual instruments into your software and be able to use those in arranging within MIDI files. You're going to understand music file notation exchange between programs, why we do it in certain ways and what that means. You're going to be involved in at least 2 podcasts, and you'll learn about how to do intros and outros, and you'll learn about ducking, stingers, and audio examples as part of putting those together. You should be able to run basic live sound setups with the following equipment: mixers, mics, speakers, and MIDI synths. And you'll be able to create a good website to promote yourself. Some of you may already have websites, so you'll be able to adopt those, adjust those for the requirements of that particular assignment. You're also going to record and post audio, video, and stills, plus bio information and press information to your website. And you're going to create a 30-second short film score using actual film excerpts, rushes from local studios. And of course, by the end of all this, you're going to be able to say, thank God that's over. And then you're going to try and figure out what you forgot in the next 6 months. True story. A couple of years ago, I got an email from somebody saying they wish they had paid more attention in this first-year course, because now that they've graduated, they've discovered they have to be able to do all of this every week, or at least every month. So, why would you need to learn any of this? Well, you want to get decent recordings of your lessons each week, and you want to have some idea of how to use your field recorder or your phone and where to place it and how to edit it. You want to get a better mark in musicianship. Seriously? This is for the music students. Seriously? Yeah. Here's an actual example.
So, fa, me, re, do, do, so, do, re, fa, do, re, do, ti, do, re.
Okay, enough of that. Whether or not you go into music education as a career, you may be hired as a music specialist. As I say here, for a school or community group, they know you've got a Bachelor of Music and you've done this music tech course. And you'll be expected to know how to set up and fine-tune the audio system for concerts. Where do you place your mics? How do you mix this down? Your church or your social club needs to hire you to run the audio-video system and record and edit audio and video, both for documentation but also for live streaming, which is very, very common in these situations now. This is an interesting shot here of Michael Bublé in rehearsal. I got this shot from a former student who'd been hired by her church to do audio, and then gradually over the next couple of months that morphed into also looking after video and also DMX theater lighting. And then she sent me this and said, well, guess who used our space for recording rehearsal today, and guess who got to call all the lighting and audio cues for this? And that was her. She took the minor in applied music tech and ended up being able to do this. Something else, though, as a musician, you're going to need to promote yourself in your career. Nobody's going to do this for you. You're going to need to do this yourself. And as part of that, you're going to need to put together good digital materials to put up on your website, both for job applications or if you're going to grad school or you're entering competitions. This is a website of a former student who did the minor in the applied music technology. She came first in the UBC Multidisciplinary Undergraduate Research Conference, which happens every second semester at UBC. And then she got a fully funded master's at U of Calgary and was a finalist in the Georgia Tech, the Guthman Musical Instrument Competition. That's really serious. Now she lives in Victoria. She and her husband and dog, and she works for a software company that's involved with music. So you don't know where your career might take you. She was not expecting to have a career like that. Something else, you don't want to be at the mercy of a recording technician. My baby sister was an opera singer, Kleinborn, Covent Garden, etc., etc. She moved back to Canada, hired a studio so she could do some demo recordings, and then discovered she couldn't use any of the recordings because the audio technician had mic'd and processed her the way he would have done a pop singer. Opera and pop are not the same. So the format of the course, here's how things will proceed. The syllabus and the other information will be emailed to you. It's also available for download on the Canvas website. The course pack will be available for download on Canvas. It will also be emailed to you once you've paid your course fee. There will be a hard copy set of lecture markup sheets available after you have paid your course fee. And this is important. You bring this hard copy course pack, this part of the course pack, it's smaller than the full course pack. You bring that to the lectures so that you can write up what we're covering. The lectures are on Mondays and Wednesdays, and on Fridays you have a 1-hour tutorial dealing with lecture topics. The tutorial times are assigned. You have to go to your assigned tutorial time because there are only 25 spots per tutorial. After every quiz, there's a short Canvas quiz. It comes up online, and you have about 2 days to finish doing that. It's 5, 6, 7 questions dealing with topics that were covered in the lecture. Over the first 3 weeks, there's a weekly homework assignment, chapters 1 and 2, then chapters 3 and 4, chapters 5 and 6, and that you complete and submit on Canvas. And then after that, we start doing project assignments, and there are approximately 5 project assignments. There are 2 concept quizzes, aka midterms, only they're not happening at the middle of the term. And then there's a final project that you complete, which is your website, and then a final exam, which is comprehensive. It covers everything in the 12 that we've covered in the 12 weeks. Now, some course protocols. Participate in the tutorials. This helps you and it helps your peers. If you don't understand something, ask the question, because if you don't understand it, it means other people probably don't understand it. When you are emailing me or emailing your friends, sign your real name at the bottom of emails. In the past, I've received weird sign-offs, weird SIG files that don't mean anything to me. I have no idea who I am talking to. I don't accept late assignments. There are 125 students in this class. Assignments coming in late slow down the process, and it also means that your marking may get compromised, because the way things are being marked, when the TA and I are marking things, we said, here's the bar for this particular question. And if we're marking this at some later date, who knows what the bar is? We may be marking much tougher. So we don't accept late assignments. Each lecture quiz, the Canvas lecture quizzes, is worth approximately 1% of your mark. It's no biggie if you miss a few. And your lowest one isn't counted anyway. So if you miss one, doesn't matter. It's not going to be counted. Some other things. Please be on time. It's distracting when you come in late. Sit in the front rows of the hall, okay? We need to communicate. I need to make sure that you understand what we're covering. And it's very, very difficult for me, with my old age and old eyes, to be able to see you at the back of the hall if you're trying to put your hand up. So if you have a question, you wave your hand frantically. If I ask you a question, and I will be asking questions, if I ask you a question, you can answer the question, or you can pass it to someone you don't know, which means you have to introduce yourself. They have to reciprocate. Your phone will be silenced and put away during lectures. Your phone will be silenced and put away during lectures. I have kicked people out of lectures for having their phone out. Your computer will be closed. What? This is a music tech course. Yeah. You're going to use the hard copy course pack, and I will be showing you the research that proves why this is a good idea. At the same time, your computer must be present in tutorial, because that's where you're using the software and hooking up the hardware. So, something about the phone. I will not use my phone in class. The grading, online post-lecture quizzes are worth about 10% approximately. There are approximately 10 submitted homework assignments, 5 special homework projects, 2 concept quizzes, a final website project, and the final exam, which, as I said, is cumulative. The course fee is $20. This covers the PDF course pack, hard copy lecture markup notes. You get earplugs, you get a basic calculator for midterms and for the final, and you get to keep it. Please keep it after the final exam. I do not need 125 cheapola calculators. The payment of the course fee is done through the Chan Center website, or has been done in the past. Instructions and a link are going to be sent out to you via Canvas, and they'll be in the course announcements as well. Once you have paid your course fee, you email me a copy of the receipt with the words course fee in the subject line, and then you can get your course pack with all of the lecture markup sheets. For the first week or so, I will be giving out the chapters and the markup sheets at the beginning of lecture, because I don't expect people who have paid things at midnight on the previous prior to this first lecture. For your final project, which is a website, you need multiple downloadable headshots to accompany your bio and press information. In the past, we've had this done in-house, but under UBC regulations now, we can't do that. We can't have us handling the money that a professional photographer is doing. So if you wish, we're going to try and have these headshots taken. Generally, you get about 6, because you only sit there for about 10 minutes. We'll arrange to have them done by a professional photographer. We arrange for the time and space on the 4th floor on a Friday in March. The cost should be around $13, but I will give you the information. You will contact the photographer about making arrangements to pay them and to schedule. Course materials that you will need. The course pack, which you're going to download. The hard copy lecture markup sheets. You're going to need an external microphone. A USB microphone is the easiest thing to work with, and I sent out an email before Christmas, around the beginning of December, to all of you who were registered with a list of possible microphones. In general, A microphone for this course is going to cost at least $60 and on up. We're going to use the Reaper digital audio workstation, which is free. You can use your own DAW if you want. The Reaper is free. You're going to download it, but do not purchase it because you'll be given in tutorial a license that is good for 1 year, which lasts longer than this course. So, more about what's in the course. Basic physics of sound. We're doing sound measurement, resonance, and spectra. We're doing hearing theories and showing weird stuff that can be done with your hearing. We're going to talk about how hardware works and sampling theory. And then we're going to talk about bit depth. And these are binary digits, bit depth, field recording. This is digital audio. And we will talk about filtering and making podcasts. So they're filtering at the small scale and filtering, editing at the small scale, editing at the large scale. You're going to learn about different sound systems and compressors and decompressors. You're going to work with click tracks for multi-track recording. You're going to learn a little bit about control tracks that will do things for you in a DAW rather than you have to try and move all your fingers controlling external faders and dials. We're going to learn about the MIDI protocol and what that involves. And then you're going to do some scoring. I will give you a MIDI file and you are going to rescore it. Instead of just using piano sounds or whatever on it, you'll use a variety of sounds to make it more interesting. Music notation, you're going to learn about the inside of software programs. You're going to learn a little bit about webcasting, about protocols and approaches. And with web pages, you're going to actually learn a little bit of HTML. I know you don't have to roll your own these days with all of the online editors, but it's sometimes very, very useful to know how to manipulate HTML. For instance, on your Canvas materials, often I have to go in and adjust the HTML code in Canvas because it isn't quite presenting things the way I want them presented for you. With video, you're going to do some recording and mixing and do edits for your final website. And you are actually going to do a short film score about 30 seconds long with music and Foley, which are sound effects. So for the software, read the instructions in the email sent to you. There's also going to be another video on downloading and installing the software that you'll be able to watch. You need to have this, certainly you need to have Audacity downloaded and installed by the first tutorial, by the Friday tutorial. As I mentioned, don't pay for a Reaper license. You're going to get one for free. And then on the first tutorial, in addition to showing you what you're supposed to be doing for your first homework assignment, using Audacity and recording your voice, we're going to check your software installations to make sure they work. So, software for the course, as I mentioned, Reaper or a similar digital audio workstation. Some of you may be working with Reason or Pro Tools or Fruity Loops. Whatever you work with is fine if you're comfortable with it, as long as it can load the plugins that we'll be using for the assignments. Audacity is our basic audio editor. We use MUSC for music notation, the Blue Cat plugins we use for audio analysis, and you may end up using them for some of the effects that are available in there. Contact 7 sample player and factory instruments we use for the virtual instruments used in MIDI. These are free. Do not load the Contact Complete unless you've got 3 gigabytes of spare data on your hard drive or your external drive. We'll talk about this in tutorial. We use QuickTime Player quite often just for playing back things. You can use whatever you want as your audio player, your video player. And then there's some online software that we use for hearing tests and checking other things. Now, some suggestions for organizing yourself for this course. And essentially, this is what you should have done some time ago because you said you were going to get yourself organized and you didn't. And you may be finding that you have an absolute dog's breakfast of assignments and UBC materials scattered all over your drives. So here's something to do. This is in the course pack. You don't need to write this down. So the general UBC organization, this is a suggestion. You don't have to do it. Create inside your documents folder, you create a folder called UBC, and then you make a subfolder called UBC Winter 2023 because we're still in that term. And then you create other folders, your courses, registration, housing, finances, etc., etc. And inside the courses folder, you could have folders with each of your courses. So that's going to carry your materials. Inside Music 119, you're going to create 4 folders: assignments, audio, video, and final project. And then as you work on these various things, you can file them in the appropriate folder with subfolders. So your assignments can have subfolders. That way you can find things quickly, because you will need to go back for some of these things and get those materials and reuse them in your final project. Contact information. There's my email, bob@mail.ubc.ca. I was an early adopter of email at UBC many, many years ago, and when I went over to get my email address, the person looked at me and said, "Well, Bob isn't taken," and that led to me getting emails I shouldn't be getting at one point. I'm in the lucky room on the 3rd floor, room 313 of the School of Music. There's my office number. This, if you leave a voicemail, it will eventually get transferred over to an email and sent to me. The system sometimes takes a while to do that. My professional composition website is at opus1music.net/Pritchard. And my research website is at blogs.ubc.ca taste. You can see some of the things I'm working on at those websites. So where can this lead? Why would you take Music 119 besides, well, you have to. You can take courses after this, such as electroacoustic music, computer music, digital performance systems, and then do a capstone project. And out of this, you can do the minor in applied music technology. You can also do a film scoring course or a game scoring course if and when we get that offered. In 319 electroacoustic music, we're doing electroacoustic composition and recording techniques, a lot of synthesis theory, and a lot of repertoire studies of experimental music. Oh, by the way, you can take this immediately after taking 119. So you take 119 this semester, next semester in the fall, you can take 319. 320, you learn MUSC jitter, which is a optical programming language. It's a visual programming language. And you learn to develop interactive MIDI audio and video software. 419 is interactive performance systems. So you work in groups of 3 or 4, and you work with musicians and dancers and visual artists, and you create really interesting interactive pieces that are presented at the Winter Bang Festival and the Bang Festival. And then in 420, if you're in the minor in applied music technology, you do a capstone project. And this can either be software or hardware. And on the left here, you can see a interactive, this is an interface for controlling sound around the 8 speakers in the Roy Barnett Recital Hall. And you do this by putting your hand out and dragging the sound around. And on the right is a MIDI synthesizer on top of a microprocessor that was attached to a snowboard to create a synthesizer that would make sounds as you went down. You did your grinds and everything else going down. And the guy who did that, he also had a drone that would follow him down to video him. And then just before he finished his project, we ran out of snow, so he had to do it with a longboard, which wasn't as interesting as a snowboard. So for the minor in applied music technology, you have to have a first-year music theory course and Music 119, those are the prereqs, and get a mark of 80% or higher, approximately. We say high standing in Music 320. And then you submit your portfolio of works from 319 and 320. So there's 18 credits, 4 core courses, and then 6 courses of approved electives. If you're in music, you've covered your electives because we double count 3rd and 4th year courses for those 6 credits. For everybody else, here's a list of possible electives for the minor in applied music technology. Now, occasionally in laptop orchestra, as we call it, the digital performance ensemble, Music 419, we have travel. And this year we're traveling again. So this is 2 weeks of subsidized international travel. We've been to Mons, we've been to Huddersfield, went to Quezon City, and February of this year I'm taking the group to Quezon City again, where we'll be interacting with students at the College of Music at the University of the Philippines who are also working with MUSC jitter and with dancers. So it's a really fun time, really good course. So what do you do now? Well, you're going to read the introductory materials. You're going to read ahead, read chapter 1 that is going to be emailed to you. It'll be in the course pack as well when you get it. You want to download the required software and set it up following instructions. There will be a video available that won't be released until the first day of classes, and you'll be able to follow along with that, and it'll tell you what you're supposed to download and how to do it. And then if you need help setting up Audacity, we're going to assist you in the Friday tutorial or in our office hours. Now, I have 3 rules when it comes to lectures. Rule number 1, don't panic. Don't panic. I'm going to ask you a lot of questions, I hope. You won't know the answers to some of them. I just want you to think about them. So don't panic. I have taught this course to thousands of students. You are more than capable of doing it. Rule number 2, if you don't understand, it's my fault. If you don't understand, it's my fault. You're at UBC because you're smart. And so if you don't understand something, it's not because you can't understand it. It's because the way I've explained it doesn't fit in with the paradigms that you use for learning. So if you don't understand, it's my fault, and you let me know, that's not clear. Can you explain it a different way? And I will try. It's my fault until I say you may begin the exam. At that point, you should have asked me to get clarification. Rule number 3, stay with the tour. This means come to lectures, come to tutorials, do the readings, do the Canvas quizzes, keep up, stay with the tour. Some of you may recognize this crest. This is from the Spokane Chiefs hockey team. And at the end of every one of my lectures, I use an expression that the Chiefs used, or at least they used several years ago when I was down there for watching some tryouts. Just before a game, the captain stands up and yells to the entire team, "Everybody ropes," and the whole team yells back, "Everybody rides." It's a way of saying we're all in this together. So this is how I end my lectures. I say, "Everybody ropes," and you all say, "Everybody rides." So everybody ropes, everybody rides.